Good morning and welcome to the Morning Breath Livestream, where we start our day with coherence. I am your host, Jeremy Tennell, systems designer and coherence coach, and this is week 7, day 34 of the path of personal transformation. And today we're going to be talking about something everybody wants, but very few people understand how to build: trust. Trust is not a feeling, it's a pattern. Trust isn't built in big moments. It's built in the small ones you don't think matter. I had a business partner who always said, trust is earned, and when trust is broken, it must be won back. And on the surface, it sounds right, but underneath that, something doesn't quite land. Because I was watching what was happening over time. Him saying one thing and doing another. Agreements made and quietly broken. Tension showing up and getting avoided. And I remember thinking, we don't have trust. We have a consistency problem, because trust wasn't being built. It was being used as a cloak to hide behavior. The thing is that many people think this idea is true. But if trust is a pattern, then it requires you to give it in order to build it. Trust is not a belief. It's not something you give once and hold on to forever. And it's also not something you hold back and use as a tool or a weapon or a cloak. Trust is a pattern built over time through consistent behavior, aligned actions, and small, repeated moments. It's the moment when someone says they'll follow up, and they do. When tension shows up and it gets addressed. When something feels off and someone names it. That's how trust is built. Not through intention, nor through feeling, but through evidence. And this is where everything connects. Without agreements, there's nothing to be consistent to. And without consistency, trust is nothing to build on. So what happens? We say, I trust them. But what we really mean is, I hope this works. And hope is not a structure. So when small moments are missed, we ignore them. When something feels off, we let it go. When agreements aren't followed, we tell ourselves, it's not a big deal. But those moments are not as small as they seem. They are signals. And when those signals are repeated, they don't just affect the moment, they shape the pattern. From a systems perspective, trust emerges from pattern recognition. The system is consistently asking, are actions matching the words? Are agreements being honored? Is feedback being integrated or just ignored? And over time, the pattern becomes building agreement, acting on that agreement in a consistent manner in order to build trust over time. But when that consistency breaks, the pattern shifts. You might build agreements. You miss the action on those agreements. Things go silent for a while. It might repeat, but distrust is woven in deep. And here's what matters. Trust doesn't collapse all at once. It erodes slowly through micro moments that go unaddressed. And just like we said before, conflict is honest. So when trust begins to erode, and conflict is avoided, that erosion accelerates, because now the system is holding inconsistency, unbroken tension, and misalignment all at once. And this shows up everywhere. It shows up in teams and in leadership. It shows up in our relationships. We talk about trust like it's a value, but we don't treat it like it's a practice. We expect people to just trust us. Without demonstrating consistency, we expect systems to function without reinforcing the behavior that sustains them. And we avoid the very thing that builds trust the fastest: honest engagement and resolution. Because remember, conflict delayed is conflict magnified. And in that delay, trust doesn't stay neutral. So today, I want you to pay attention to the small moments, not the big promises, not the future outcomes, the small moments. Do you follow through? Do you say what needed to be said? Did you stay aligned with what was agreed? Because that's where trust lives, not in what you intend. Find some time today to grab your journals and sit with it. I want you to explore these questions. Where in my life is trust being built? Through consistency. Where is trust being eroded? Through small, repeated moments. What agreements have I not fully honored? What conversations am I avoiding that would restore trust if I had them now? Let's go ahead and get into our breath practice. We'll practice for about 6 minutes today. So let's sit up straight. Let's shift our hips, put our feet on the floor, roll your shoulders back, and let's inhale and exhale with a big sigh. Again, inhale, exhale with that sigh. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale for about 6 seconds through our nose, exhale for 6 out our mouth, your cheeks and your forehead. Place your hand over your heart. You're going to occupy your mind with a gratitude list. I am thankful to be here. I am thankful for the day. I'm thankful for the sunrise. I am thankful for the birds chirping. I am thankful for my support system. Thankful for the opportunities today brings. Keep up the pattern of breath about 6 seconds in and out. I want you to stay with the gratitude list in your mind. Let it spiral outward and grow. Get very detailed with what you're grateful for. Stay with these two things through the rest of our breath work. Find yourself distracted, come back to your breath and your gratitude. With it, this is where the benefits begin to happen. Let's inhale and exhale with a sigh. Back into our space here. Inhale, exhale with a sigh. Trust is not something you ask for. It's something you demonstrate over in the way you show up, in the way you, because trust is built in those things. It is not built in what you say. It's built in what you repeat. If this resonates with you, stay in this work. This space is for practitioners, not just listeners. Me here at 5:30 in the morning. We'll continue to build. Take a breath, stay consistent, and build something others can trust in you. I'll see you tomorrow at 5.